Does cold water have any cardiovascular benefits like the sauna does?
What's interesting, so that stuff hasn't been studied. There are some papers showing a reduction in blood pressure with certain populations. Like there's a huge study that came out of Denmark where they looked at people who were swimming in cold water, and that was just their way of training. And those people had a reduction in blood pressure. Now, the problem is, and we're going to talk about this study because probably like if you listen to the Huberman podcast, and he brings this up as being like this pillar of cold water research, this groundbreaking study, but I don't agree at all with that statement. So we'll dive into how that relates to other aspects. But when you're looking at a population that's exercising, we know exercise has these cardiovascular benefits. You can't sit here and tell me that it's the cold that's doing that. I'm not going to buy it. But there are papers suggesting a reduction in blood pressure. We do not have the data suggesting these improved cardiovascular risk factors like we do with sauna, though. So it doesn't seem to be that there's this cardiovascular benefit. However, think about it in terms of like what's actually happening when you get in cold water. This cold shock response resembles on some level of similarity what we see with sauna and then also what we see with exercise. So if you listen to the sauna podcast, you heard me relate the physiological outcomes that happen while you're in the sauna to what's happening in exercise. Now, a similar set of effects is happening when you get into the cold. You hop into the cold, you're going to start increasing your respiratory rate. This happens right away. And then, Joe, you brought up this mammalian dive reflex that we'll talk about in a second. But right away, you're going to increase respiratory rate. Blood pressure is going to go up. So your blood vessels constrict because they're trying to maintain heat. So you've got these nerve receptors that on your skin sense, holy shit, it is freezing and we need to make sure that we don't get rid of any heat. We don't want any blood going to the skin. We don't want to be sweating. We want to save that heat. So it redirects all that blood flow to your core. Your core has all these vital organs that need to maintain a certain temperature. We don't really care about our fingertips at this moment here. And so all the blood flow is getting redirected there. Now that constriction in blood flow and the increase in respiratory rate, along with an increase in heart rate, these things increase blood pressure. And all these acute stressors, again, acute being the short-term stress, your body, again, is going to be like, whoa, what the heck just happened? And how can I make it so next time I have this level of stress, I don't freak out as much? And that's the process of adaptation to these stressors. So you see the heart becomes more efficient at pumping blood pressure drops. You're going to become adapted to temperature. You're going to thermoregulate better. And so I bring that up to form a hypothesis of maybe there is some cardiovascular benefit you're getting here. Now, I don't know, though. We don't know the answer to that question. Could be that it actually provides some level of risk. We just don't know the answer to that question. What we do know is that sauna does that, though.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see a study like that sees if you have that cardiovascular increase. But yeah, because there's a lot of studies on sauna, but that'd be cool if they did a study on that as well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it.